Hello everyone. Yes, I hope you are all back. Uh, yes, after an interesting session from and hearing the case study from Nidhi, we are back with our third session for the day from Monika Yadav. Uh, Monika, this session is from Gurugram chapter. She's going to talk about Agile and total facility management. Really, yes. So let's look at how Agile is been implemented at total facility management side. Monica is the CEO at Kleentek Solutions, and she has a 20 plus years of industry experience. She has a team of working towards women developing women working skills enhancement and supporting underprivileged kids for education. So we are looking for another interesting session from Monica. Before she starts her session, I would like to thank Agile Network India founding sponsor Innovation Roots. Innovation Roots is a leading consulting and training service provider, helping organizations to achieve business agility and beyond. It is one of the leaders and pioneer of niche publishing services and well known for content collaboration with global thought leaders, authors, and creators. For more information, request you to visit Innovation Roots website www.innovationroots.com. And do's and don'ts. Please join 5 minutes before the start time. Use quality high speaker headphones for better sound quality. Please keep your microphones muted and video disabled, as this may cause disturbance and bandwidth issue. Questions will be taken via chat box. Facilitators will read the questions for the speakers as per the time ability. Request you to fill the feedback form post the session so that it gives us the right feedback. We appreciate your cooperation. And I would like to welcome Monica and just introduce herself once again on behalf of her. Meanwhile, I'll share her presentation.
Thank you, Prashant. Good afternoon, everyone. And I would like to thank the forum, the Agile India, for providing me this opportunity to share my experience. And it's an honor always to be like part of all such events so that we can share the real-time stories and let others know like how we can change theory to a practical approach. So Kleentek is the facility management company which was established in 2002 by Shri Somesh Yadav ji, and I have taken over this organization starting 2020. Basically, we are dealing with the support services for the corporates, wherein we are providing all the outsourcing services which can be taken care of the facility management. And being into this business, you have an opportunity to do various interactions and association with the customer to know them better. So it's an interesting journey, I would say, because you have a very wide field wherein you have people who are into different domains and have different requirements. So as we go in detail of this presentation, we will share more stories around that. I would say the COVID-19 is most of the people, if I say, they are taken it as an you can say the bad time or the challenge. But for me, because when I took over, it was recently started and there was a nationwide lockdown in country, and that was the time when you are new to the industry, because I carry a IT background and I work with IBM and in different domains as a project manager and agile coach. So the service industry was fairly new to me that time, but I took in a different way as an opportunity to learn, because my personal belief is we learn better when we are in trouble or we have challenges. So how I have implemented the agile practices in service industry, the setup I had First is like I provided the remote login opportunities to the staff members by providing laptops and connectivity. That was a bit new concept because everyone was in a setup of office working. So there we have changed the attitude and approach so that they can connect remotely and be safe in that pandemic. Then we started the sprint planning from the Agile and the deployment plan. So I would go into the details of deployment plan, as in every site has a different kind of setup. So how big or small it is, depending on that, we need to prepare a plan, like how people will be deployed, what all tools and technology will be used, and how we can provide the services based on the requirement from the customer. Then we replicated the daily scrum, which is like daily stand-up call that was conducted remotely through Zoom and through MS Office, where you have daily connect with your team in the morning and in the evening for 15 minutes, so that you can make a plan for a day, and by evening you can check on like what is the progress, if there are any blockers or any support needed by them. So that was a quick check and where about like where we are heading and where we need to change. Sprint review, again, the concept is basically how we can know the work we are doing by taking various feedback. Like in service industry, I believe the feedback is the key for your improvement and for your performance. So it is like multiple level feedback. So depending on the different hierarchy, you have like first your supervisor level feedback, like what observation he has done and how we can improve our work. Secondly, the site in charge feedback, again he has different vision and visibility from expertise point of view, because he has spent good amount of time in this industry and have various exposures. So they provide daily feedback for the site, like how it can be improved, or where we have like different gaps which can be improved by tools or technology or the machinery or adding the additional manpower. And on top of that, the third layer of feedback we received on daily basis is through the customer. So that is like taking a round of a property and taking a consent before and after pictures to be shared in a group, like what all works have been completed. So I'm going into the details so that you get a fair idea of how service industry people works in facility management. So it is like before and after picture, then taking various level feedbacks, taking suggestions, like few things are mandate to do and few are good to have. If we get the feedback for suggestion which can be implemented over and above the regular task, it is a wow factor for the customer. And also, like in long run, if you're planning to provide any additional thing or the new concept, you can have a discussion and you can take consent from the customer, and then you can improve the quality of your processes. Retrospective, one of the most important. I always enforce this process in all areas, like whether it is operations, it is office, it is compliance, or your accounts. So this is one thing which by ritual I am doing every month, and the frequency depends, because for operations I need it on the weekly basis, for accounts and compliance I need it on monthly basis. So that gives me the opportunity to learn and improve in various areas, so that you can find out where to fine tune, where you have gaps, where you can like actually focus more and change the way of working, so that you can find the real problem and provide the solution for that. Three pillars for any business, irrespective of whatever domain it is working, or the kind of small or big setup they have. It applies to the enterprise also. So the people, client, and process and tools, these are the three areas which are the most important for any kind of business. People, because on my experience and in general, whomsoever like mentors I'm interacting with and the people I'm working with, everyone believes that your business is 70% of the emotional connect and 30% of the actual business. So you need to take care of the emotional part, the empathy part of your people whom you are working with, whom you are interacting with. So once you develop the faith and trust in your people, they will provide the best out of their capability. So upgrading their skill and encouraging them, that is the, I mean, it's a mandate, the most important. But at the same time, being a leader, you have to lead by example. You have to take care of your people, and in a genuine way, not in books, not by just showing the face of you care, but genuinely you need to invest time, energy, and emotions in your people, so that when you take care of them, they will take care of your business, you, and enterprise in general. Then clients, see the opportunity for like client getting services from various vendors is ample amount of like options available. At the same time, you also have different options to serve various clients. But our belief since beginning is to retain the clients, getting interaction and association with the client, so that it doesn't matter to increase the business in a way like you are adding 50 clients in a year and losing 30. That should not be the approach. There are some genuine reasons where you can lose, but at the same time, I feel proud to say that we are connected with our client. Like the oldest one is 2003, 2002 we started, three we started working with them, and till today we are serving them. Similarly, I have at least 15 clients whom we are serving for more than 10 years. So that gives me a pride to share that we are able to retain customers, and at the same time, the referral business you are getting because of the wow factor or the services you are providing. We don't claim to provide best services, but we claim to provide the turnaround time or response to their queries or problem. So that gives the confidence to the client. Coming the process and tools, there everyone need to understand that change takes courage. You need to have courage to implement the change. So COVID-19, the pandemic, was a change for everyone. So who take courage to move ahead and just give themselves an opportunity and chance, they get something out of that. I'm not saying everyone succeed or everyone get, but something or other they get. But if you don't fight or if you don't proceed, then no one can help. So process and tools are the thing wherein you have to implement your innovation and skills, so that you can get best out of the process and tools, and you can retain your existing setup. Next slide, please. We are talking about the principles of agile and lean. So agile is not a methodology or a pill which you can just take and it will give some wonders or it can create magic. It's not like that. It's a mindset. Basically, you need to understand there is a philosophy behind that, why it was developed, how people have like taken different you can say the approach or examples or experiment to come up with such beautiful idea, and it provides you the facility to implement and to do experiment. You can say as per your requirement, you can customize it. That's the beauty of this agile mindset. So wherever you are implementing, just keep the factors in mind, like whenever you are like doing some change, you need to do some preparation around it, whom it is going to affect, who will do that, how it will be taken care, what is your planning. So these are the basic factors which everyone has to adopt and everyone has to consider, because if you have a changing client requirement, you can't be rigid saying this is how I am working and it is working fine. No, it's not going to work in any industry, especially in service industry. If client is saying I need this change, so you have to discuss how to do that, not why just remove like why should I do that, it's not going to work. So you need to discuss with your client how we can implement, give your ideas, take their ideas, and together mutually you can decide like how the change can be accepted, it can be implemented, and it will give the best out of you can say the result as per their expectation. It's not important how you work or what you are delivering, it's important what they want and how they want. So that is like the kind of mindset change which I have implemented by making my team understand the concept, the beauty of that. And believe me, it was not easy. It was not easy at all. Whenever you implement some change, it is always neglected, and people will say, no, it is not required. But at the same time, you have to be rigid. I mean, you have to take control of the situation at least for 1 or 2 months. And when you implement and see the result, then they get convinced like, yes, it can work. Altogether it is like it can work, it should work, will take more time, but at least they will have concept shayad chal jayega. But you just have to move on, you have to take people in confidence and just do the changes, and later when they see the result, then they get convinced. Lean, we are using for identifying the gaps, the leakages in the process, the improvement we have to make. So it provides the opportunity to find the gaps and improve on the process side, improve on the time, and improve on the, you can say, the monetary terms. So that is a continuous process wherein you have to keep analyzing and processing different areas. So this is before and after story. I would like to share how we have like come up with different areas and what was the client feedback. Client first. So I'll take example of one of our medical client which are dealing in primary services for the hospitals, and they are taking care during the COVID time, and it was like working 24/7. So those clients were were having a requirement that we have to work 24/7. It's a lockdown and we need services. How to go about it? You take a call and we just need this to be done. We said, okay, how we can proceed, because the process, the permissions or the logistics, that was not known because it was all of a sudden. So it was a new thing for us, but we again took risk and take it as a challenge, because unless and until we try, we cannot fail. So that is my approach of working. So I take it as a challenge. I approach different people for the permission of travel during COVID time, and at the same time client also supported issuing the letters for travel that these people are associated with us, and you can travel and provide us the services. So entire thing took some efforts and you can say the logistic support and all, but again the outcome of that result, that pain you can say, or the that particular trial, that was wow. I mean, client was like, if you can support me in this situation, you can support me anytime. So that was the feedback from them. So always your client come first. If you support them during their difficult time, that is the faith and trust you are earning from them, and nothing can be better than that. No matter whatever costing you provide, whatever reference you provide, but the real time example and the feeling or experience they gain, nothing can replace that. Skill and attitude, again I have given example like equipping your team uh, appropriate environment specific skills and attitude. So there we have taken example like remote connectivity was one, then secondly coming into a Zoom call, having that discipline of daily connect, that was one. In fact, with the client also, we started like taking the tour on a weekly basis for the property, because I can't travel to all the locations. So in coordination with the client, we took the video call for the property round, and suggestions we have taken and implement them on the ground level. Then one important factor is the response time. See, whenever you get some, you can say, the grievance or the problem, the thing which matters most is, first is acknowledging that yes, you have received. Second is, you need to understand that the person who is coming to you with a problem has spent his energy and time and has some hope from you. So you have to respect that thing, and in coordination with your team, the kind of support or solution you can provide, give them the realistic timeline. So don't commit anything which is not doable. It's always better to say, I will review and revert back to you, rather than saying it will be done in 2 hours. So there you breach the confidence, right? So always have a feeling of like, I will review and revert, and give the realistic timeline. It is same day, 1 day, 2 day, week, that's okay. I mean, you can just share your you can say the analysis and the solution you are providing, get in contact with the client and take consent from them, so that coordination and the synergy you develop, because both of you are working for a similar process purpose. And if both of them you are on confidence and at the same page, so that will provide the best solution in given situation. Change adaptability is like, every day you have some or other challenges. Taken an example of semiconductor problem in automobile industry, so that was one area. When COVID was gone, everything was started again, and manufacturing units were functional. All of a sudden there was a shortage of semiconductors. Without semiconductor, the car cannot come out into market and can be sold. Again, the production has to be forcefully I mean keep down. People were on lean period, they cannot perform, workers were sent out. So that was a thing wherein either you leave or you take the challenge and survive. So that is your call, because if you are providing let's say 20 manpower, and all of a sudden one day they say we don't need these services, we cut down half of the manpower to 10. Now you take a call whether you want to do business or not. So one easy way is, I'm not getting profit out of this unit, let me discontinue. But I feel keeping that association and taking some you can say the loss or break even, that's a wise decision to continue. That is my approach. I'm not saying it is right or wrong, but my way of working is, being together in good time and bad time gives you a feeling of association, so that you make that connect, and later on you can get a lot of referrals, you can continue the business with existing client, and it will give you you can say the fruit, maybe not now, maybe later, maybe some longer time it will take, but definitely it will come. So my always I mean, gut feeling says is, stop chasing the money and start chasing for your passion. For what purpose you are doing this? I mean, there should be a purpose much more bigger and beyond earning money. Money can be earned in different ways, but if you are working for a purpose, if you are working for your people, your client, that gives you a pride of doing that work. So always be ready and accept the changes, and do what time demands, or what your people ask for, or what your clients needs. That is the important thing to perform. 100% compliance. So I have specifically mentioned this point because in this industry, you have like workers who are actually associated with you, and they are not white collars. So the movement and you can say the turnaround time for them is very less. There you have a requirement. If a person is working for 1 day even, you have to capture the ESI and PF compliances. So there we have taken it as a challenge. Even though a person is working for a single day in our company, we will take care of the 100% compliance. So that is like one of the key factor, and that is my marketing agenda while going to a new client and claiming that we are 100% compliance. So this is one practice, or you can say the strong area which we have developed, and we are marketing it like anything. Continuous improvement, again, it is related to your changes and being agile and implementing lean, but in a way you have to have that kind of mindset and ideology. Never be stuck and be in a comfortable position that this thing is working perfect and we don't need any change. Nothing is perfect, and there is nothing in this world which doesn't need change. If you see the example of any mobile app, you always have different upgrades available on that. So just take it as example because it's the real time which everyone is using. My way, my ideology is everyone can improve. So is like in your industry also, there is a lot of scope wherein you can think how I can do better, how I can make changes, and what good I can provide more to my client, so that I have like good to wow and wow to awesome factor. They can provide me the feedback that this is fabulous what you are doing, what next. So what next should be the end, you can say the word, wherein you have scope for more to do, more to try. Unless and until there is some experiment and innovation involved in your work, it will become boresome. Next slide, please. The title of this slide is Failures Are Good, because I love challenges and problems, and failures is again part of our lives. So these are always good, because if you take the other side of it, it will definitely provide you loss, it will discourage your efforts, it will give you negative feeling. But at the same time, if you see the opposite part of that coin, you have lot of learning, you have experience, and it is giving you something. Like if you try it in a different way, it might, failure might turn into a success. So just see from other perspective. Whenever you have failures, you have tried, that's why it is fail, right? If you don't try, you will not come through that experience. So take it as a learning, as a best practice, and go ahead with your mainstream technology and ideology. Be confident, because unless and until leadership is confident, you can't ask your people to try and work unless and until they have different, like you can say, the platforms available or the confidence available. What if I fail? So my boss or my leadership will scold me, or they will come after me, why this has happened, why you have taken company at toss. But that's okay. I mean, problems or issues are part of your journey. Be confident and take it ahead. It's okay to lose. I mean, I ask my people, give them free hand, so that you develop that confidence that yes, I can do it. But at the same time, keep an eye. Don't lose them open, so that you don't have control on people. But at the same time, make a balance out of that. Provide them enough space to grow themselves on their own, and at the same time you have that kind of setup, so that you develop their confidence and you have control on them. Risk taker is one of the key characteristic of any team. Ask them to take risk, try it out. You know that this is going to fail. At times there are situations when we are confident that this person is going to fail, but allow them to fail. At most what will happen? You will lose on time, you will lose on money. Just see, the impact should not be too severe, so that you have to do a lot of disaster management because of that. But at the same time, let them try and fail. So that risk taking attitude will be developed only when they execute it. But if they come out of it, if they're trying something and they succeed, just see the kind of confidence and experience they will gain. They will have that kind of feeling, yes, I can do it, it's viable to try this out. So that experience they can only gain by experiencing. I'll take a very common example for that. When we teach our kids to try and ride a bicycle, so it is like providing the support initially, and then you hold the back seat so that they can make a balance, and slowly you just left them alone so that they can ride the bicycle on their own. Similarly, when you nurture your team, you have to go step by step. You have to make them enable and improve their, you can say, the characteristic and performance, so that they are ready to take that risk. So that's again a journey, a path which everyone has to follow, but it's worth. Develop your team to be uh, confident at a top, and then risk taker, so that they have attitude of doing something new and going for an innovation. Lifelong learners, this is the best keyword which each and every individual should keep and register in their mind. No one is perfect, and no one has done everything right, but at the same time we should have that learning attitude. If we think we can try something new and we can improve, and things can get better, so that is the learning attitude. You always have that curiosity and you can say the keen to learn the new things in life, whether it is related to your technology or knowing your customers more, knowing your people, anything and everything. If you understand some new concept from somewhere, you can discuss it, and you can ask your team, can we implement this, can we try it out? So it's a good idea to share and then learn. Decision making, how you can make enable your people take decisions. Let's say you have a situation wherein you need to complete some documentation, and the person is expert in that area. So he is taking care of that particular situation. By mistake, he has done something wrong and sent it to client. He was confident that everything has been done perfectly fine, and you got a call from customer that this is the problem and this calculation doesn't make sense to me. So what should be your approach? One is like go and caught that person. What you have done, you are expert in this area. How can you make such silly mistakes? Other approach is, can you please review it again? I think there is something which we can make better. So let him realize, let him find out the problem, so that he can remove a overconfidence part from his you can say the character or skill. It might be unintentional, he has not committed that thing intentionally, so that his ego is not hurt. If you directly tell a person that this is not the way of working, you are a senior person, how can you make this mistake, it hurts. I mean, for everyone, whatever is doesn't look nice to me, that doesn't look nice to the other person also. So enable them to accept the feedback, review it, make the changes, apologize to the client, and then go ahead. So it will provide him a platform for taking better decisions and taking ownership. The better decision making and getting stuck and move on go hand in hand. If you have a situation where you are stuck, you don't know what to do, reach out to the people, reach out for the suggestion. At times your you can say the office boy can provide you the solution which you are not thinking. And believe me, it has happened. I was listening to a video where they said like 2020 concept of cricket has come up from the office boy. Originally it was like the office boy who was suggesting, can we move 50-hour games to 2020? So the other people were like, are you crazy, this is not going to happen, no one will come and watch. But he was confident. He said, people don't have time, they don't have entire day to watch match. If you can minimize that time, they will be more available to watch the match, and they will have more passion for that. And today you see the kind of market and the kind of business or sports it has grown. I mean, you have multiple level of people who are like using that platform from the sports perspective, from business perspective, from you can say the media and marketing, and everyone is earning out of that matches. So don't stick your things to, I am qualified, I am educated, I am experienced, I can only do that. No, sorry, that approach doesn't work. If you see most of the people, the scientists or the industrialists, they might not be MBA from Harvard or Oxford, but they have typical mindset to do that business. It's more of a approach and your mindset, how you take things ahead, and what is your journey. Are you open enough to take feedback? If you are stuck, do you mind taking suggestion or discussing the problem with your teammates? It should not be like, I am the boss, I know everything, how can I ask my subordinate that, what can we do? Other point is synergy. So synergy is like uh, working towards a same purpose. It is like we have a purpose for running this organization, and if my team knows what is my purpose, we all together can emerge our energy. We can take a path, we can take a journey, we fail, we pass, and we learn together and move towards a specific purpose. So that is the synergy, irrespective of our odds and even. It is not possible for anyone, even a family or a organization or a team, to have same level of understanding, same level of capability, and they agree to everything. But again, when we work towards some objective, we remove the differences and we focus on the you can say the common areas where together we are more capable and more you can say we can work towards that goal more effectively. So that creates the synergy. If they can understand the purpose of working, they will be more than 100% into this journey. They will give their best. So that is the power of synergy. Everyone, when you see the concept which is materialized, if I take example of Ola and Uber, how it was started. Two people working in a waiting area in London in a hotel, where there was a storm and long queue of uh, taxis. So they were waiting for their turn. It took 3 hours for them. So that the idea come, how we can resolve this problem. So that is how they say we can develop an app, we can collect the local vendors, and we can have a centralized system wherein people can go and book a cab. So that was the idea. How it was conceptualized is a different story. But two people having similar vision and creating synergy towards that idea, that turned into a multi-billion business in today's day. Entire world is using that facility. So that is the power of synergy one can have. Okay, that ends my session. And if you have any questions, I would love to answer that.
Thank you, Monica. Thanks for your insightful session. So we could see that you have applied agility in a very different domain altogether. So I could see Archie sir saying thanks, Monica, for inspiring tips to serve the purpose. Yes, I think he also agrees with you. So as you were telling, I was just able to try to recollect that like your particular domain is very different domain where I could see the team is very much distributed if I'm not wrong, right? And
Yes.
different stakeholders means like the different level of stakeholders who are already on the field, I can say, if I am not wrong, right, at
So
the client place.
let
Yeah.
me give a little background on that. So we are working at pan India level, and we have different kind of clients. One is like automobile industry, second is medical facilities, then
Hmm.
education, then FMCG, and then you have corporates. So everyone has different requirement. They have different version of you can say the expectation for maintenance, for cleaning, for turnaround time. If you see the
Right.
corporate, if they have any problem, just take example of any corporate office. Can they tolerate if one particular area is not up to date and their client is visiting? They
Right.
cannot tolerate even a delay of half an hour, right? So
Right.
it has to be done at the, you can say, the war zone timeline. You need to deploy people and get it done. But
Hmm.
if similar situation is at the shop floor of a automobile industry, it can wait for 1 hour or 2 hour. But
Hmm.
again, this is to be in consent with your client.
Yeah,
Your client,
criticality depends. The
yeah, it depends.
criticality makes matters, right? Okay, so like it is like when you said that you applied this Scrum way of working there, was it
Yeah.
like it was site based, or how you said if they are remotely you are able to collaborate? How what was that actually? I was not that bit clear about that.
So there are two level of Scrum basically. One is for the internal staff, for the
Hmm.
Kleentek staff. Second is site level. So you,
Okay,
because sites which are remote, you have to discuss with them on day-to-day basis. So earlier it was like a weekly meeting kind of a setup, but by that time you have so many things to be taken care, and you cannot like go back to the client and provide solution because you have already lost 3 to 4 days before
right.
knowing that. So what we have done is we developed a mobile app also. So we are getting like runtime response and feedback from the customer and also from our sites. So the reporting part and your feedback and your grievances, they are taken care runtime. But again, when you receive something in text, you need to discuss with the concerned person first from your internal team, and then you reach out to the client and understand again, this is my understanding for your problem, is it right or wrong? Then start providing solution to that. Because I believe most of the thing take different shape, or you can say the direction when you assume things.
Hmm.
Suppose you are complaining me something that this is not right. My assumption is, oh, इसके दिमाग में ये आ रहा है, ये चीजें गलत हैं, इसलिए इसको लग रहा है. But boss, you are not thinking on that direction. You have some other concerns. Unless and until I talk to you and understand your mind and your problem, how I am going to provide solution for that? So
True.
points has to be rechecked. Whatever is your understanding, capture that, go back to the client, understand from them, and do provide the solution for the God's sakes based on their feedback, not on your assumptions. So that is my
Right.
one learning which I have like implemented. Because earlier was, it was like कि अरे इस client को तो ऐसा ही लगता है, यही problem होगी, and this is the solution for them.
Right. We can't go assumption based. Right.
Yeah.
So we have a few questions here. Uh, Mr. Subramaniam asks, first he says, I appreciate it's a wonderful session. May I know how do you handle failures? What's the motivation factor as ultimate, ultimately business matters at the end of the day?
I mean, see, handling failure is not a problem. If you fail, accept it, acknowledge it. When you try to hide that from your client or from yourself, at times we make mistake, we know that this is the mistake, but we don't acknowledge to ourselves. This is the beauty. I mean, we say we are right. Logically and practically you are wrong, but somehow your ego and your consent is saying, no boss, I'm right. How can I be wrong? I have put in all the efforts and best of the practices, I can't be wrong. So just remove this factor from your thinking. If you have done some mistake, acknowledge it, go back to the client and say, this has happened, this is the solution, this is the quick fix I can provide, or this is the solution I can provide for the long term. Just choose and say, and do apologize for that mess you have created. It's going to work. It's our fear, and again the assumption part, that if what if we go and tell client that this wrong thing we have done, that they will scold us, or they will break relationship, or they will not work with us. That's not going to work. So most of the time, 90%, this is my personal experience again, I acknowledge and I move forward with the solution, that this has happened, this is the solution, shall we go ahead or not.
True.
Have you
First,
explored
accepting is the
ITIL framework? No, ITIL I haven't applied. Service management, service catalog, measurement system, your view, please. Okay. See, one thing I would like to say, this is not typically implementing agile and lean into the system. So this is a hybrid kind of a model. You can say the best practices from various forums, or you can say the methodologies you have implemented in your existing setup. Agile provides you the kind of mindset so that you can implement it in your way of working. It doesn't say that this is the structure, A to Z ही जाना पड़ेगा, आप उसको A से लेके D तक नहीं select कर सकते हो. No, hybrid system says whatever fits best to you, these are the options available, choose according to your requirement and then implement it. So that is how we have implemented. So I think uh, either I have created that confusion or this is the I mean the topic has confused people. But no, like in service management or service catalog, not typically we are going with the IT way of working. We are implementing based on the client requirement and our industry based requirements.
By the way, thanks a lot, Monika. I can see there is a lot of opportunity where we can see how the agile is impacting at different domains. And yes, at the end, agile is nothing but a plan to check adapt cycle, which how shorten it is, so that we can continuously improve whichever domain it may be, and which results into a client satisfaction and employee satisfaction.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
in fact, in individual's life also, I believe Agile can play a major role where you can do self-check on yourself. That's the
Very
beauty
true.
of, yeah.
Very true. Thanks a lot. Thanks for Monica for making time and sharing your experience. And we look forward for you to collaborate in future for more events.